This is a demonstration of my Analyst Debugger using an Appleton emulator. I'm going to trace AppleWorks 3 using the RamWorks driver to demonstrate how Analyst is able to actually trace through the entire preload onto a RamWorks card. I've booted ProDOS 203 to basic here, and I'm going to run Analyst. This particular version is 128K enhanced, so it requires the enhanced Apple IIe. And it's running at address 8000 hex right now. The ampersand command exits me back to ProDOS Basic. I'll switch disks to the AppleWorks disk, set the prefix, and load the system file. Then the ampersand takes me back into the debugger. I'll execute a special subroutine specific to ProDOS 203, which preps the buffers and so forth to be able to run a system file directly instead of the dash command, which would normally be run. Then I'll set my breakpoint to show a particular subroutine that I need to execute in immediate mode, because otherwise it crashes the Analyst. And we'll start our trace at 2000 where the system file is running. And I've got this running in accelerated mode for purposes of the demonstration. The flashing $sign at the top is toggled every 256 instructions, and it updates the program counter at that point. Now we've come to a break. You can see the next instruction to execute is a subroutine at 3059, which is what the subroutine does is it sets it determines the size of the RamWorks card. J will execute that subroutine directly, which I just did. I'll step a couple times with S, and then Control C breaks to the Analyst prompt. Control L clears the screen, and we'll examine that subroutine. This sets a range for disassembly. And this routine is actually a routine to determine the size of the RamWorks 3 card, and it's almost exactly the routine that's in the RamWorks 3 manual on page 47. If you look at the third instruction down, there's a store to C073. That's actually a bank select port, and when that is selected, memory mapped video is switched out, so essentially my screen goes blank. So that's why I have to execute this without tracing through it. I'll clear the screen once more with Control L. Then we'll start our trace again. You notice the once in a while there's a brief pound sign with BFOO. That's because it executes the ProDOS MLI directly. Since it involves disk access, it can't be traced. The flashing screen is actually, I think, a bug in AppleWin because I don't see this in real hardware. It's asking for today's date, close enough. And here it's going to start the preload onto the card. I have to switch to side B. Now I'm going to speed this up since this takes quite a while for purposes of the demo. Now I'm running in full speed. Oh, now it wants the startup disk. So we go back to side A. And you can see it's tracing right through the RAMWorks subroutines. Address DA, I think, is on the card itself. And here I am at the desktop.